How to Steal a Dog, Chapter 5. I watched Luann and Liza Thomas walking up to the bus after school, their matching blonde ponytails swinging from side to side. They carried their ballet slippers in their Derby Dance School tote bags. Instead of getting on the bus and taking my usual seat beside Luann, I had to wait for Toby so we could go to the laundromat. I watched everybody get on the bus in perfect clothes so they could go home to their perfect bedrooms. They'd put their school clothes away in real drawers, not trash bags. They'd go on to soccer practice or ballet class, not to the laundromat like me. I blinked hard and stared down at my feet, just in case I looked as miserable as I felt. The toe in my sneaker was wearing out, and I could see my blue sock starting to show through. When I heard someone running, I looked up to see Toby racing toward me, his hair flopping down in his eyes. "Hurry up," I snapped. "I've been waiting for like an hour." "I gotta get on the bus." Then I remembered I wasn't supposed to, he said. Oh, great, I thought. I bet Luann and Liza had themselves a good laugh about that. I bet Liza said, "How come Georgina and Toby aren't riding the bus?" Then what would Luann say? Please, Luann. I closed my eyes and tried to send my thoughts across the parking lot and into the school bus window where Luann sat. Please don't tell Lisa we live in a car. Then I hurried up the sidewalk toward town. Toby trotted along behind me, whining for me to slow down, but I didn't. We headed on over to Montgomery Street, where Mama had parked the car near the laundromat. I unlocked the trunk and tossed my backpack inside. Then I stood on the bumper of the car so I could reach way in the back of the trunk, and I could reach way back. I pulled a corner of the carpet away and took out an envelope Mama kept hidden there. I thumbed through the money stuffed inside. It sure looked like a lot to me, but I guess it still wasn't enough to get us a place to live. I took out $5 and jammed the envelope back under the carpet. Then I gathered up the dirty laundry and locked the car. "Let's go, Toby." I stuffed all the clothes into one washing machine. "If we don't use 2 washing machines," I said to Toby, "we'll have enough money to buy a snack." On our way out, we checked all of the coin return slots for money and found 2 quarters. Then we went on to the grocery store and bought some saltine crackers and sliced cheese. Then we went around to the back alley and sat on the warm asphalt to eat. "Listen, Toby," I said while I peeled the plastic off my cheese. "We need to find some kind of rope or something to tie that dog's collar." Toby nodded as he squished a piece of cheese into a little ball and popped it into his mouth. "Where can we find rope?" I said. He shrugged. "Darn it, Toby," I said. "If you want to help me, you've got to come up with some ideas too, you know. I can't think of everything." "Okay," he said. "Why don't we buy some rope?" I rolled my eyes. "We're trying to save our money, not spend it. We need to find rope for free." Toby looked around at the piles of cardboard boxes beside the dumpster. "Maybe there's a rope back here somewhere." I got up and peered at the dumpster. Just more cardboard boxes. "Nah," I said. "I think we have to wait till trash day to pick it up. Then we can look through the stuff that people leave by the road, okay?" "Okay." Toby squished another piece of cheese and smashed it in between 2 crackers. "Let's go put our clothes in the dryer, then check out that dog again." When we got to Whitmore Road, I motioned for Toby to be quiet. "We don't want anyone to notice us," I whispered. We made our way up the road toward the brick house. When we got to the corner of the yard, I could hear someone out front. I tried to see through the hedge, but it was too thick. I squatted down beside the fence to listen. "Get the ball, Willie," I said. I was pretty sure it was the same woman we had seen the other day. I could hear Willie making little yipping noises. Then the woman would laugh and say stuff to him. After a while, I heard the wooden front steps creak and the screen door slam. I looked at Toby. "I think she went inside." I whispered, "Let's go see." We tiptoed to the gate and peeked into the yard. The woman was gone, but Willie was sitting on the front porch. When he saw me, he came bounding down the steps to the gate. "Hey there, Willie," I said. He pushed his nose through the gate and licked my hand. "Isn't he cute?" I said to Toby. "Yeah." Toby put his hand out and Willie licked him. "When are we going to steal him?" "Shh," I smacked Toby's knee. "Hush up, you idiot." I looked around. The street was quiet and empty. I could hear a radio somewhere in the distance, but I didn't see anyone. We have to wait till everything is just right, I said. That lady has to be gone. I nodded toward the house. And we need some rope, remember? After we get the rope and steal him, where are we going to take him to hide him? Toby said. Dang, I hadn't even thought of that. I couldn't hardly believe how stupid I had been. I'd made all those plans and hadn't even thought about where we were going to hide that dog. I looked at Willie and then back at Toby. I haven't figured that part out yet, I said, pretending like it was no big deal. You got any ideas? Toby shook his head. I frowned. Then we'll have to think of something. That night, I propped the flashlight up on the seat next to me and tried to do the math homework. Toby's snores drifted through the beach towel wall between us. I used to be good at math, but it seems now I wasn't. I gave up and took out my purple notebook and opened to How to Steal a Dog by Georgina Hayes. I wrote April 7th, then Step 2, I wrote. Step 3, get ready to steal the dog. Number 1, keep watching the dog to make sure he's the right one to steal. 2, if you need a leash, find some rope or something. 3, figure out where you're going to hide the dog. I chewed on the eraser of my pencil and stared out the window into the darkness. Number 3 was a big problem. I wish I could ask Luann to help me. She always had good ideas about stuff. I looked down at my notebook again. I guess I was just going to have to figure it out by myself, unless some miracle happened and Toby got an idea. I closed the notebook and watched the moths fluttering around the streetlight outside the window. Maybe stealing a dog wasn't such a good idea after all. I propped my feet up on my seat in front of me and frowned at my bare toes. My party girl pink nail polish was wearing off, and I didn't even have any more. I guess it got tossed out with my other stuff. We can't take everything, Georgina, Mama had hollered at me when Mrs. Dieter kicked us out. One bag, she had said with a mean voice, that's it. Just then, I started to feel a good cry coming on. I heard Mama hurrying toward the car. I sat up and rolled down the window. Georgina, she whispered real excited. Guess what? What? I found us a place. Really? My heavy heart started to lift. Mama put both hands against the car door and grinned down at me. Her hair was damp and frizzy from working her second job in the steamy back room of Regal Dry Cleaners. She took off her shoes and climbed into the front seat. Yep, we're moving into a house. We had ever only lived in an apartment before, never in a house. I could already see my bedroom. White furniture with gold edges like Luann's, maybe even pink carpet. When, I said to Mama. Friday, Mama exclaimed, herself in the rear-view mirror. I look as beat as I feel, don't I? She said. You look all right, I said, but I was lying. She did look beat. Dark circles under her eyes, her skin all creased and greasy looking. I laid back against the seat and felt about 100 pounds lighter than I had minutes before. I'd known in my heart that stealing a dog was a bad thing to do, and now I didn't have to do it. I couldn't believe everything had turned out so good.